Ellen DeGeneres' dance isn't fooling anyone now. What if you get to see the immense black behind the curtain, and that it's about your favorite TV host? They're not as lovable. Won't you feel shocked and upset for the moment? Of course, such feelings are natural. It's not easy to end the respect for the person whom you wholeheartedly follow and believe. Celebrities love showing their fake, unnatural faces more than the real ones. Isn't that what they get paid for? For them, diplomacy has become a priority. Dishonesty is now a new belief. And throwing sarcasm is a new norm. And you know what? The most unbelievable person who always preaches kindness and love? Ellen DeGeneres is a master at it. I know you've been following her controversies, so mourning over the allegations isn't the solution. However, for a little more entertainment and the sake of a real story, we can dig further into what actually happened behind the curtain. It's not like people didn't adore the show and its light-hearted and funny content. It's an all-time favorite talk show of all ages. But what just happened during the last year has burst out its reputation to the fullest. Even the host, who used to bring on famous celebrities and public figures, was a favorable personality for the audience who religiously laid their eyes on the clock when the show was live. People portray her as the most lively person who knows when to cleverly use humor. The dance, questions, positive atmosphere, the guests, and Ellen's signature style were all that a good show should have. But sometimes, it's not what we see, and those currently working behind the curtain may be the only people able to perceive what actually goes on. The locals of LA and Hollywood insiders, who have unfortunately worked with her, claim that she is the meanest person alive on Earth. You can't overlook this statement since one can allegate someone, but 100 can't simultaneously. It's a big deal to raise a voice against influential celebrities, and we know Ellen is among one such miserable people. Even though she portrays herself as the most emphatic human on the planet, with tones of charity, houses under her belt, but can you expect sympathy from who is the cruelest racist? No. I am not shooting an arrow in the wind. This allegation has witness. One of the women behind the curtain, a colleague for a short period, claims she's been mentally tortured by her experience of racist behavior on set. A senior writer ruthlessly said that, "I'm sorry, I only know the names of the white people who work here," making a stark divide between the black women and others around her. Doesn't this leave us lost in thoughts about whether more people like Ellen exist in Hollywood? How can Ellen be so evil to the people who work for her day and night tirelessly? What if you get stuck working at such a toxic place? Of course, who can overlook such epic fails from Ellen and her upper management as negative comments and gossip? Her utterly miserable attitude towards her staff caused a toxic work environment behind the curtain. However, the negative comments on what it's like working with Ellen is not rare. Many others who have unfortunately been her colleague and experienced her wrath behind the scenes. She's not even 1% of what she appears on her show. Kind, humble, and full of humor, but racist, negatively bossy, and the rudest. Sadly, the people who came out against her behavior were asked to hide their identities to prevent public criticism and all the messy controversies, but nothing could stop them from spitting the facts against the show's host. One of the former employees who has worked with Ellen DeGeneres told BuzzFeed News that "be kind" mantra, it's all for the show. Looking at the phrasing the man opted, it's definitely indicating he's highly frustrated and pretty much mentally tortured. He also added, "I know they give money to people and help them out, but it's for show." The man seems to hint towards her philanthropic ventures and calls them fake as it's just to portray how kind and humble the Ellen is towards the needy. Nonetheless, if you have been a true follower of her talk show, you may definitely be impressed with her message after ending an episode. She highly emphasized being respectful and the importance of treating others with kindness and polite nature, and using one's platform to impact the world positively. But it now appears Ellen is the one who doesn't practice what she preaches. Some people even recommend that if she wants the show to be run with her name, Ellen should go beyond and check what's happening. Most likely, the producers of her talk show kept telling her, everything is going great. But no, the mess has just happened. Even though the many controversies in such a short course of time Ellen faced has led the producers to apologize publicly, they released a statement that emphasized, "We are truly heartbroken and sorry to learn that even one person in our product family has had a negative experience. It's not who we are. not who we strive to be, and not the mission Ellen has set for us. Moreover, the game is still ongoing. All the claims that had been made up till that time were sourced through BuzzFeed News. It provided a platform for the victims to raise their voices against the abnormal behavior of bosses. But do you know? The spark that lit the fire? Porter, the comedian, literally blew out everybody with a straightforward tweet about Ellen DeGeneres' behaviors. He follows some smart technique to get funds for the regional charity of LA by directly targeting her on a tweet that says, "Right now we all need a little kindness. You know, like Ellen DeGeneres talks about. She also notorious one of the meanest people alive." Can you see how directly he attacked her evil boss's reputation? And it was not enough to get more reply threads. Porter wrote, "Respond to this with the insane stories you have heard about Ellen being mean, and I will match everyone with $2 to LA Food Bank." His out-of-the-world idea to collect funds got him more than 2,000 replies with about 65,000 reactions. For sure, it was an insane and quite unethical idea to backlash against anyone, but sometimes it's mandatory to let people know how their negative attitude affects so many people mentally. However, thousands of replies to Porter's tweet were filtered to 300, as it was difficult to determine whether all the stories were true, and for that the comedian donated $600 to the LA Food Bank. Well, the truth behind the curtain is now left with us as the media blows out about what people had to say about Ellen DeGeneres unfolded. One of the young girls wrote that she wholeheartedly made a bust of Ellen as it was a part of the contest when she was just 15. But after a few weeks, it was used as a prop in the game with $500 attached to it from the bottom, and the talk show host gave it to a totally random person. The girl even attached photographic evidence to the tweet of this stone-hearted act by Ellen. This shows she doesn't care a bit about her fans or their love for her. We wonder how this woman was preaching kindness all the time. Among all the tweets, Benjamin Simon came up with something thought-provoking. He had a long thread of tweets filled with Ellen's dramatic chaos. Benjamin said she used to ask people to chew gum before coming to her office or talking to her as she has a sensitive nose. Or if she caught you smelling bad, you had to go home and shower. Dramatic, isn't it? He also said the short-haired lady picked a new human to hate and curse every day. Unfortunately, you can't even do anything except this and suck it up for an entire day, because the next day she will seem unhappy, abnormally mean, and rude to someone else. Despite these mind-boggling tweets, there were too many times when people caught her poking her nose into someone else's business. Yes, even before this distracting controversy, Ellen appeared discussing many times in front of her guests with awful lists of unnecessary questions, dragging up their personal matters for views, but it seems like she loves doing this. That's why some of her talk show episodes ended up opening new ways for critics. In 2007, Ellen asked Celine Dion when her son would have a haircut. Poking fun about the intentions, Ellen straightforwardly asked if Celine had any issues and berated her about the long hair. Celine called her out on this, but did Ellen reflect? This was the biggest lesson for Ellen, but did she change the way she interacted with guests? Taylor Swift appeared on her show, but the so-called kindest lady, Ellen, let her break down with tears by continually forcing her to accept if she dated Zac Efron. However, Taylor wasn't even in any relationship with him, but the way Ellen mocked her was unacceptable at any cost. Her abnormal behavior with guests isn't over, since Hassan Minhaj once came into her show and asked her not to pronounce his name. But the irony is, she kept on arguing with him that he was the one who was mispronouncing his own name. Her nonsense actions in front of the curtain hint that all the tweets and allegations that came her way are true. With her words and behaviors, she even justifies a tweet of Benjamin that says, "When she's in a bad mood, the seniors would ask a staff member to do whatever they can to cheer her up." Her bossy attitude is no less than how abnormal people behave, as she craves control and domination in every interaction.